Good morning, students. Today I am going to start the online class for class 10, and I am starting it with the book First Flight and the first chapter, A Letter to God. Now, students, listen carefully. You can see the PDF of A Letter to the God on the screen, and I have shared this PDF also to you. Okay, now listen carefully. Before you read, see, it is written, they say faith can move mountains. But what should we put on faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answer to these questions would be and guess how the story continues before you begin to read. Okay, so the question is people say that faith in God, faith in anything will, but in the case of Lencho, will it happen or not? We will read. Now, who is Lencho? Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God for help. Okay. Now, when his crops, Lencho is a farmer, so crops, when his crops are ruined, are destroyed, he asks, because he is a poor farmer, he needs 100 pesos to redevelop, to balance himself. Okay, so he asks for 100 pesos. Pesos is currency. Okay, so he writes a letter to the god for currency because he has faith in the god. Okay, so will he get it? So let's read. So basically, what we can say that the story highlights the faith in God of a very simple-hearted poor farmer. It is said that faith can move mountains. Does faith favor such an uh, faith? That does the faith favor the faith? This is the question this story deals with. Lencho is a poor farmer and he is satisfied with the growth of ripe corn on his field. He prays to God for one more light shower. So he prays to God. He is satisfied with his living. Okay. So what happens? He prays to God. God, I need little rain. Okay, light rain. His prayer is granted. Dark clouds bring down big raindrops. Lencho welcomes them as new silver coins. Now, here the raindrops are compared with new silver coins. Here it is simile. Okay. Why silver coins? Because it is in the form of money. It will convert to money. But his happiness soon turns into sorrow. But his happiness turns to sorrow. Along with the rain came down hailstorms. Now that rain changed to storm, hailstones, all his crops destroyed. The future appears dark. Now, how will he save his family from a starvation? How his family will be saved from starvation? Now it is the problem. He turns to God for help. He writes a letter to the God for 100 pesos. Again, his prayer gets a good response, but this time the postmaster poses as God, collects 70 pesos to save Lencho. Okay, so coming to the details. Okay, so this was all about the introduction of the chapter. Now you can see an activity is given here. What is this activity? This is the activity because nowadays we do not go to post office for sending money or receiving money. We have many online portals. But if you ask your parents, they will say you that how money order was done. So the steps are written. You can see in the flowchart manner, in the colored flowchart. And in the next page, you can see a form. Fill out the money order form given below using the clues that follow the form. A form is given and you can read everything how this form can be filled up and was sent. Okay, steps are given. Coming to the story, you can see the story. Now, Lencho. Now listen carefully. Uh, this is the summary what I am going to speak up. So listen the story. First you read it. I have provided you the PDF. Read the PDF of this story and then listen my voice. You will understand everything. Lencho. Lencho was a poor farmer. His house stood on the top of a low hill. It was the only house in the entire village. From there, he could keep a watch on his fields and see the river. Okay. Now, the ripe corn in his field was flowering. Okay. It promised a good harvest, but the earth needed some more watering. A light rainfall was required to serve his purpose. Okay. So he was looking into the sky, northeast sky. Okay. And he was requesting God, oh God, please have some light shower, light rain. My purpose will be fulfilled and I will have a good harvest. Okay. Now, his wife, he gave his wife the happy news, his prediction. The wife was not excited. She knew that by God's grace alone they could have a good harvest. Lencho's boys were working. Some other farmers were working in the field of Lencho. Then what happened? The wife called everyone for dinner. Okay. Now what happened? Slowly the rain started. Now when the rain started, Lencho went out in the rain to feel the touch of water on his body. He remarked that the rain drops were like big and small new silver coins. He compared the raindrops to the silver coins. Now you can see the seventh line. Raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. The big drops are 10 cents pieces and the little ones are 5. So he compared with the different denominations. Okay. But soon a strong wind began to blow. Along with the rain came down large hailstorms. Okay. So what happened? It was a very bad news for him because the light rain converted to heavy rain, and heavy rain was excess of anything is bad, you know it very well. So hailstorm lasted very long. Okay. And it ruined the whole harvest. It rained for 1 hour and left nothing. The field turned white as it covered with salt. All over the field, only the ice, the hail was seen. So it was like the whole field is covered with ice, salt. The hailstorm destroyed all the flowers. It left not a single leaf on the corn plant. Lencho's heart was filled with great sorrow and sadness. Okay. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plant. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son, a plague of locust would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. So what he says that even a locust is an insect which flies over the field to eat, to feed. They are like the parasites. Okay. So even the locust would have shown some mercy by leaving something, but hailstorm left nothing. So the hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year. So think about the situation. That what happened? The only means of survival for Lencho and his family was the harvest, and that got destroyed. So who is going to save them? This year they will have to face starvation, hunger. So Lencho, but in the heart of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. So he thought that only God is there who is going to help him. Okay. So they consoled one another that God won't let them die of hunger. So Lencho was hardworking, honest, God fearing man who knew how to write. Next morning, so finally he decided that I'll have to ask for help to God. So he decided to write a letter. Next morning, what happened? The following Sunday, next morning, he wrote letter to God requesting him to send him 100 pesos. Okay, so he decided to ask for 100 pesos. He needed this amount to sow the field again and to survive until the next crop comes. So he decided to write for the help for 100 pesos. You can see peso, currency of several Latin American countries. Okay, so Lencho himself went to the town to the post the letter. The postman at the post office had a hearty laugh when he saw the address on the envelope. Okay, so it was addressed to God. Okay, so he wrote, you know the how to write a letter. So address of the addressee was to God, and when the postmaster saw that it was written to God, he laughed. Okay, so but he was greatly impressed with the faith, that how much faith he has in God. Okay, in order that Lencho's faith in God should not be shaken, he decided to raise funds. Together, all the employees could collect only 70 pesos. It was put into an envelope as a gift from God. Okay, so the postmaster thought that his faith should not be disturbed. His faith should continue on. So all the office staff, they collected money, okay, donated money, and they were able to collect only 70 pesos. They put it into an envelope and gave it as a gift from God. Next Sunday, Lencho came to the post office to ask if there was any letter for him. The postmaster handed him the envelope. The envelope was handed to the postmaster. Lencho showed no surprise seeing the money. Lencho was not surprised by seeing the money. Okay. He was angry when he found only 70 pesos in it. Get my point? He had asked for 100 pesos. The postmaster, you are also knowing that it is not possible how one can write a letter to the God. So, postmaster thought that his faith should continue. So, what happened? So, the postmaster had collected 70 pesos from the staff members and put it in an envelope, wrote the letter, and he had signed as God. Okay, but he was not happy after seeing 70 pesos only. So the next Sunday, Lencho came to the post office to ask if there was any letter. The postmaster handed him the envelope, and Lencho was angry after finding only 70 pesos. He could not blame God for the mistake. He wrote another letter to God and put it into the mailbox. So finally, what happened? Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. On a public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow, caused by the effect he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. Now, the last paragraph is very important. Listen carefully. So, finally, after finding less amount, after finding only 70 pesos in envelope, he did not make complaint to the God. He was angry. So, finally, what happened? He wrote a letter to the God. Okay. And what happened? Again, he wrote the letter to the God, and what he said? The letter was posted and the farmer went away. Again, the postmaster went to the mailbox to collect the letter which he had written and wanted to know what he has written. What was written inside? Listen carefully. God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Out of 100 pesos, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. 30 pesos were remaining. So he said, please send the rest, but don't send it to me through the mail. But don't send it through mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. At the end, he signs Lencho. So what he says, that don't send the money through these post office personals. Why? Because they have kept the money. Don't send the money through them because they are not kind hearted, they are not faithful, they are not trustworthy. So send it to me directly. Okay, they are a bunch of crook. So his last words said that the post office personals were a gang of cheats and crooks. So, have you understood the chapter? Listen it carefully, read the text, read the notes provided. It will help you. Do the question answers. Okay. Now, coming to one more poem, Dust of a Snow. Okay. It's a small poem, so let me explain it. Dust of a snow. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of a snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Okay, so what is the meaning? First of all, come to the word meanings. What is shook down? To bend down. Hemlock tree, a poisonous tree with a small white flowers. What is rued? Rued means repented, lamented, held in regret, and mood, a state of feeling. The poet. Now, the poet Robert Frost has composed this poem. Now, listen carefully. The poet was in depression, in a sad mood. While he was standing under a hemlock tree, thinking that his day had been lost, he was thinking, he was repenting that he has lost his day. Okay, so he was in a depression, sad mood. So suddenly, what happened? A crow shook the branch and let the powdery snow fall on the poet. So what happened? Because it is a hemlock tree, and on the tree, on the leaves, the powdery form of ice was there. The dust of snow was there. Okay, this sudden and unexpected event was insignificant in itself, but it changed the mood of the poet. Initially, the poet was unsatisfied with his life. Okay, he was unsatisfied, he was in a sad mood, but the sudden change in the atmosphere, the falling of the dust of a snow changed his mind. He forgot his problems altogether and got busy in removing the snow from his hair and clothes. So he got busy in other work. Thus, for a part of the day, he stopped regretting or repenting and got busy with his work like the crow. So, he says that has given my heart a change of mood. So, that dust changed his mood and saved some part of the day I had rued. And what he says to God, oh God, thank you. Thanks to the crow, that the crow helped me to save rest day of my life. Okay, rest days of my life. I was wasting my time in what? In repenting, in depression, in a sad mood. Okay, do the exercises. Next poem is Fire and Ice. It's also a small poem. Again, it is by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Coming to the word meanings, perish means to die, suffice means be sufficient. Okay. Now, Fire and Ice is highly symbolic poem. It's a symbolic poem. Now there are many theories about how the world will end ultimately. Day by day, we are ruining the resources of the earth. Day by day, we are destroying the properties of earth. So, a day will come when the earth will destroy. So, the question is how? The end is inevitable. We cannot say how the world will end. It may be turned to ashes by fire or frozen to death by ice. It may be possible that world will end in fire. It will become a ball of fire, the globe of fire, or it may turn into ice. The sun at some stage may spit fire and forest fire may engulf the whole world. The world may go up in flames due to deadly war weapons as well. So it is possible that the world will end in fire, or if the sunlight does not reach the earth, the world will get colder and colder. Or it is also possible that the sun will stop shining on the earth, and the earth will slowly and slowly become colder, and it will become a ball of ice, and all form of life will thus lie cold and lifeless. Now, the poet, from his personal experience of strong passion, conflict, and cruelty, can say that world will perish because of evil or wicked nature of man himself. Man will set the world on fire because of its own stupidity. Fire of violent desire will put an end to the world. So, poet says that no, before the nature destroy the earth, the man will destroy the earth. Getting my point? What I mean to say, what the poet wants to say, that the earth will die of ice. This is natural. But what we human are doing, we will make the earth ball of fire due to world war and depletion of ozone layer and etc. Okay. But if the world is recreated or saved from fire and face the danger of death again, the poet thinks that it will die of ice. So if the earth will get opportunity to die twice, if somehow the earth gets saved from fire, then next it will die of ice. Ice stands for coldness, indifference, hatred, and insensitivity. The poet had seen enough of hatred in the world, enough to kill all warmth of love, brotherly feeling. Okay, so what he says, that here ice is the meaning of ice here by the poet is not the physical ice, but here ice is cold war. Here ice is hatred, and that hatred will kill the warmth of love and brotherly feeling. Okay, so read it and complete the chapter. And we have completed chapter 1 with 2 poems. Okay, thank you.